Here, man. Let me get a keep the truth alive on 3, man. 1, 2, 3. That's right, that's right. Drakeo! Long live Drakeo! Long live Drakeo!
The first, on the 18th, he got killed. So I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. And may God bless you guys and watch over you guys and hope you get home soon.
Yeah! Let's give a hand clap for Drakeo's mom! Make some noise for the ruler, man! Alright, man, let's get right back into this shit, man. Gang and them, no lanes with them. Can I bring some more players out, man? Alright, where my nigga Stupid Young at, man?
Yeah, man, it's crazy because exactly the way people and his fans be seeing him, you know what I'm saying? Like how the fans view him. He's always got that smile. He's always had that smile when he was little. That same exact face. His face literally did not change, bro. He still looked at the same. Like, you know, for me, my being a dad, visualizing his face, that's exactly his face when I see these pictures and him smiling as a little boy. And he had that same character. Always had the leading type of role spirit. That's how he was. He was a leader. I'm gonna do it this way. I ain't trying to go along with nobody else. I'm gonna do it this way. No, mom, I'm gonna do it this way. No, dad, I want to do it this way. So, you know, him growing up, I see Drakeo as Daryl, you know, and a lot of things, the characteristics of him being when he was a grown man, what y'all see is the same thing he was when he was little, to make, if that makes sense. So, you know, like I tell people all the time, when they got like about, 10, and Daryl was about 11, Devontae was about like 9. You know, they used to always say, Dad, we want to make some money. How can we make some money? What can we do to make some money? We want to buy some stuff. I'm like, what y'all need money for? What y'all little niggas need money for? You know what I'm saying? He'd be like, we want to make some money. We want to try to make some money. I said, okay, I know what you guys can do. This is what I did. I said, you guys can get a box of candy. Y'all can go to Smart and Final, or you guys can go to the grocery store and get a box of candy. And you can buy a box of candy and you could sell the candy and you guys can double your money. It's like, well, what you mean? I said, okay, I'm gonna start y'all off with this. So I got them a box of candy. I don't know if I got it from Smart and Final somewhere back then. It was a long time ago. So I bought them a box of candy and I was showing them then, this is how you double money. This is how you make money. This is how you can be your own person, entrepreneur, whatever you want to call it, your own little business. So they would get the boxes of candies, and once I put them up on game, and they would go over there to the mobile gas station on Manchester and Western. I never forget that. Manchester and Western, the gas station, the first one they started off with. And then they would go from that gas station, sometime they would go down there and they would sell it in front of Louisiana Chicken on Manchester and Normandy. But mainly they would go to the gas station. And like I said, they was little at this time. And so when they first got their first batch of making money, it was no turning back. It was no turning back from that. Now it's bugging me every day. Dad, can we go back to the gas station to sell some candy to make some money? And you know, Daryl was always the one who always wanted to go, no matter what. It was like, bro, this is my job now. I'm going back to the gas station to sell me some candy, get some money. You know, what do you want to do with all this money? I don't know. He's just a kid. You ain't got no responsibilities. But what I'm saying is he always had that drive, bro, to make money. When he say he jumped off the porch, he's not lying. He jumped off the porch at an early age, because to me, that was my official view of him jumping off the porch. You know what I'm saying? Now I want to start making my own money at that little age. Like, what are you finna do with this money? They buy their little stuff, whatever they wanted, more candy or whatever they was buying back then, what kids buy or whatever, man, when they get their money. And, you know, Devontae kind of really didn't, because he was littler, he didn't really want to do it sometimes, but Daryl wanted to sell the candy all the time. And so, like, even when we went to, you know, like the memorial things that Ralphie be doing on December 18th, when we seen the kid, remember we seen the kid out there selling candy, and I told the kid, I said, look, man, that's exactly the same thing. They started off just like you. And I said, now look at Ralphie. I said, now look at them. He in there. It went from selling that candy at that little young age to now he's selling what he calls his product. He's selling his T-shirts. He's selling his bobbleheads. He's selling his just whatever they sell. You know, the Stink Team sell.
So you showed him what?
I showed him that game. That same candy game right there. I showed him that game right there. That's where it started. All that merch he's selling in there is the same as this young man right here selling that candy. So he already got the game down packed right now.
Yes, sir.
We gonna see him 10 years from now on one of them stages doing the same thing. Cause you know why? It's right here in your heart. You already got the game down packed right now. Yes. You know, people probably be now, they ever see this interview, they gonna be like, wait, I bought candy for them little kids when they was little. Yeah, I knew that boy face from somewhere, but yeah, that was him. If they wasn't near, they was at Louisiana Chicken, like I said, on Manchester and Vermont. No, sorry, Manchester and Normandy. Or they would be in Harbor City. They would, because even when they stayed with me in Harbor City, they would sell a candy at the Mobile. That one was on PCH. That one was on PCH and I believe Vermont in Harbor City. They would sell at that gas station over there too. Candy at that one right there. Same thing used to bug me all the time. We're gonna go to the gas station and sell some candy. I'm like, okay. But you know, it molded them to know how to make money and how to flip money from a young age. And as they got older, they never forgot that. Yeah, they might have went in left field every now and then. It was some other stuff. But at the end of the day, the basic foundation is them little starting off selling the candy, and it turned into them being, you know, successful. I put it as being successful because they never forgot that. How to take something and double it and make money. You know what I'm saying? However they double it and whatever they take. They knew how to take something and double and make money. And yeah, Daryl was he's a born leader. He was a born leader. I had like a little studio, almost kind of like the same setup I got here. If you want to take that I almost had the same setup, but I had the little studio back then. So I was always into music. And I would be making beats. Back then it was the day in an age of like the MPC, you know, that's when like the Chronic album was out. They was little, and you know what I'm saying, people were sampling stuff from old records and stuff like that. So that's how we made music, to make a long story, back then. And even before that, I mean, I'm an old head. So when I first started recording songs and making songs, they was ADATs out. It was reel to reel at ADATs. I have songs on the ADATs, and I have songs on reel to reel, and then it went from that to, of course, now they got software. Everybody doing it on a computer. You know, whatever they got on a computer, they can take to the big studio, mix it down or whatever. I can do all of that stuff. But anyway, they watched me at their young age. They started watching me make songs at 5, because they would be in there beating on my drum set, and I'm in there trying to record and make beats or whatever, or record a song, and they be in there, you know, doing their little thing, participating. I wish I could find those pictures, bro, because I took a gang of pictures with them when playing drums when they were little like that. Growing up, it was crazy with them, man, you know, because, you know, that I was really a part of what was going on with them. And then, you know, of course, like me, you know how that go, man. I ain't got to get too much details, but me and the mom guy, you know, we start clashing. That'd probably be the best word to use. We start clashing, and things start getting real bad at some point, to where it just wasn't good. All the arguing and stuff, and it just wasn't good. It was one of those relationships that was getting bitter, and a lot of arguing and going back and forth. So you know how that turns out later, you know. Then the mom feels like, okay, she's gonna punish the dad. You know, so you want to act funny with me. Well, I got the kids, you ain't gonna see them. And then it turned into that. And everybody that's been through that type of stuff, you know how that go and where that situation go. So then it became a struggle and a fight for me to participate with them in their lives at some point, because I would always have to go through these mazes to get to them. And then a lot of times I try to find out where they live at. She know that I find out. She tell everybody in the neighborhood, oh, don't tell him. You see my baby daddy over here. Don't tell him where I live at. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta remember, so while this is going on, these kids are getting bigger. These kids are getting older. And these kids are slowly making decisions of how they want to behave and how they're going to act and everything. So by the time they got to in elementary school, I was already getting calls, because at this particular time I was living in Harbor City and the mom was living in LA somewhere. But somehow the schools contacted me and they were letting me know, hey, is there any way you can come down here and talk to the boys? They're ditching. We're catching them downtown LA, you know, on the trains and everything, because they knew how to ride the trains. So they was downtown LA on the trains and ditching school. And so I was getting a lot of calls from the school. So I ended up going down there one day and talked to one of the ladies at the school. And she said, don't you just think it'll be a better idea? It was something she kind of did on the DL. I ain't giving out no names. But she said, it's something, you know, is there any way that you could take care of the boys? And then she asked me on the DL, do you guys both have custody? And I'm like, either one of you guys have custody? I'm like, no. We never went to court or anything like that. And then so pretty much she pulled her strings and gave me the kids, gave me the two boys. And Darlene was with Ivory, my daughter, and I had Devontae and Daryl for a little while. And I was getting them in line. And you know, back then we would get kid whoopings. So I gave them whoopings. So I got them in line quickly, and they wasn't doing none of that. Whatever they was doing with their mom, they wasn't doing it with me. And so to make a long story short, they was like, oh no, my dad's too strict. He ain't finna let us get away with nothing. So by them being the kids they were, knowing how to get on the trains and knowing how to ride the buses from ditching school and doing all this stuff that they were doing, they knew how to get on the bus and ride the bus. So those two smart little dudes, I went to go pick them up from school, and the lady said, I was like, where's the kids at? I've come to get them. She's like, oh, we thought you came and got them. We was wondering if you had came and got the kids. And I was like, no, what do you mean? Where are my kids at? And she said, well, they left. They left at lunchtime. They never came back. I'm like, what you mean? I said, so I called the house. I said, are the kids over there? No, they not here. So anyway, at this point, we didn't know where the kids was. Hours went by. They put the Amber Alert up and called the police and did all of this stuff. And come to find out, they busted one of their moves. They had got on the bus and figured out how to get back to LA. Because they was like, oh, my dad too strict. This is what I'm thinking they thinking. My dad's too strict. We can get away with the gang stuff with my mom. We out of here. So they left. And then from that point right there is where the transition went from Daryl and Devontae, and it starts slowly turning into Drakeo the Ruler and Ralphie the Plug. Because they was getting out of control. And they was getting older. They was finna turn to beginning teenagers. So the growing is kicking in. You know, they already was really smart. So it was like they was already trying to override the mom's perimeter. So by the time I'm sure they got 13, 14 years old, they was already overriding her perimeter. They was going to juvenile hall. Both of them because I was getting words from people and different sources that I had that they was in juvenile hall. So then, you know, I was trying to find these places and find out where they are and all this different stuff, but they kept getting moved around and all of this stuff. And then when they would go back home to the mom would get them and she would move different places. So I would have my other kids, my son Lorenzo and my daughter Valencia, I would ask them, hey, have you guys seen them out here in LA anywhere? Devontae and Duro or Ivory or Darlene, you guys know where they stay? They would know. And so I would have Lorenzo do like the little detective work and find out, because he was an older brother. Lorenzo's older than them. He's like 6 years older than them. So I would have Lorenzo surf through the neighborhoods in LA to try to find out where Darlene would live at, so I could try to, you know, talk to these kids, be in their life a part of it. And then as soon as I find out where they live at, she move again, bone out. And it was just a wild goose chase for a while, to make a long story short. Because I remember one time Lorenzo found out where they were. He's like, Dad, I found out where Darlene is, and I found out where the kids are, where they living at. And I said, oh, okay, I'm finna come get you. So I went out to LA and I went and picked him up, Lorenzo up. And he showed me where it was, the house was. He said, they be always coming out of this house right here. And it was this house on Buttline. It was on Buttline, I say like 105th and Buttline, somewhere over there. And he said, they be coming out of there all the time. I see them coming out of there all the time. I said, okay, cool. So of course I stake it out, post up to see if I see them coming out. And I remember one day me and Lorenzo went over there and we seen them. We seen Duro and Devontae walking, but they were coming across, Normandy, the side where Washington High School was. And I said, there they go right there. They walk across the street. So I parked my car and I said, Devontae, Duro, come here. Man, bro, as soon as they see me, I ain't never seen some kids' little legs move that fast. They broke running. No, my dad gonna get us, boy. He gonna have us out there. He gonna be whooping our butts and getting us right. We out. They tracked out. Plus the mom probably told him, you see your dad run. I'm pretty sure. So that was another chase. So mind you, they still getting older and they getting into more trouble. So at this point, it's finna turn from that transition of going to juvenile hall to these kids is getting older now. Now it's getting up to being 15, 16, 17 years old. And after that, it's gonna be a turning point from that juvenile hall to the county jail. So the next time, to make a long story short, the next time I caught up with them, I'm hearing that definitely was Drakeo the Ruler and Ralphie the Plug at this point. I'm hearing that he got cases and he's felony cases, county jail type stuff, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, okay, so let me find out what's going on. And I'm hearing that he got these cases for this and got these cases for that. And then I'm hearing this stuff about rapping and, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, well, let me hear some of the songs. Because I'm thinking they little in my studio. I'm like, did they learn something? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so I'm hearing these songs and I heard this one song, Get Dough. Everybody Get Dough. I'm like, damn, that song is pretty hard. That's a nice, good song. And then I hear different stuff that they started posting on YouTube. And I'm like, damn, he's pretty good, you know what I mean? But still, mind you, he's getting in trouble. And because it already has started back then, in elementary. He's getting in trouble. Do you know young teenagers, young kids struggling with their mom? They're gonna do things to try to have money, and they're gonna do things to try to, you know, be accepted. Like, I want those good tennis shoes. Shoot, I want to have nice stuff. I want to wear these nice clothes. I want to have stuff like these rappers. So definitely, it's finna turn into a stronger Drakeo and Ralphie the Plug now, because now they turn it into a full-fledged. We gotta get out here and get this money and trap and all the rest of the stuff. But we talking 18, 19, 20 years old now. So they getting felony cases. They going to jail for this. They going to jail for that. You know, and then I'm listening to the songs. The newer songs that's coming out, and it's flocking and all of this. I'm like, oh, okay. So I'm not stupid. I'm not no dumb dad. I mean, I stayed off 107th in between Normandy and Buttline for a while. So I know what go on in the hood, and I know what go on in the streets. I'm not no dummy, and that's just enough I need to say on that. Everybody know who I am. I'm Tulo, and anybody that know who Tulo is, they know exactly what the deal is. So, Yeah, man, and it got bad. But it's just really sad because people, they hear all these stories, and most of the stories that they hear about, oh, what happened to the dad? Where was the dad? I'll be listening to these interviews, and they are 90% lies. Of course, no, I wasn't there. I wasn't there like I was supposed to, but there was a reason why I was not there. The reason why I was not there, because it was a cat and mouse game with the mom. It was a cat and mouse game with the mom, and she was deliberately doing what she was doing, not for me to be around them. Now, what her intentions was I feel that she's just trying to make it hard for me, punish me because we wasn't together. So she's gonna make it hard as possible. You know, bitter relationships, they end up like that. But you know, the structure of how the system works and the way it's set up for the woman to have the kids. That way the woman can put the guy on the child support, and then the guy on the child support, the state money make some money off him, and you know how that game go. I ain't got to explain all that to y'all know exactly how the game go. So they replace the dad and give the government as being the dad. The government takes over being the new dad, and the women, they love it because the women, they're getting most of them is getting free housing, and they're getting Section 8. They end up replacing the, you know, the dads with the dads the government end up being the dads. And then the women, they love it because, you know, they at this point, most of them back then, the game was they was getting free housing, and they was getting Section 8, and they was getting food stamps and all of that stuff. So they didn't want anything to jeopardize all that free stuff they was getting. So they made sure they went along with how the system works. And the system works with, if we're going to give you all this free stuff, you can't have your kid's father around your kids. If you want to keep getting this assistant, where is he? You know, so then the women have to make out this game. Oh, okay, I don't know where the dad is. He ain't been around, and then they brainwashing the kids that oh, your dad he ain't been around. He ain't trying to come around, and it's all a twist. It's a twist for them to get the free money, the free housing, the food stamps, and it's a twist. If they want to continue to get that, then you finna let us be the dad of these kids. You know how that turns out. The kids run wild, they get in gangs, and they survive the way they need to survive. And the streets teach them how to survive. And you know what that teaching is going to be. And most of the time it always ends up the same way. They be running their mouth. And I don't know why to this day, to be honest with you, that Devontae, which is Ralphie the Plug, doesn't just keep it real. But if he wants to hold on to that and keep that lie going, you know, protect his mom or whatever, that's fine. I'm not gonna contest it, but I'm not finna just sit up here and have my reputation tarnished and destroyed when I know the truth. Now that's the main thing they speak in their songs in their group or whatever. I hear them say, oh, we know the truth. Well, then tell the truth then. Well, tell the truth. I have nothing against my son. I love him just as much as I love all the rest of my kids, but he's not keeping it 100% real, because Ralphie knows exactly what happened. Well, I can't see him forgetting that. I can't really see him forgetting the incident that happened that landed her in the situation that she was in, and she knows what that situation was, and I know what that situation was too. But it's kind of like they trying to hide it under the rug and act as if it never happened, when that is 100% lies. It did happen. And you were separated from your kids for a while, and I had those kids. And then when you got out, it really went down of, oh, I'm gonna teach him a lesson. I'm gonna get him back. I'm gonna get my kids, and once I get my kids, it's gonna be a war. And that's what it turned into. And so at that point, it's Drakeo the Ruler and Ralphie the Plug. We ain't gonna listen to mom no more, man. We gonna do what we want. We gonna run the streets. We gonna get out here and get this money and all of that. Now, if they would have been with me and was raised with me until they were 18 and became adults, what they would have been Ralphie the Plug and Drakeo the Ruler, I would have to say no. They might have did other things. I don't know, maybe I would have pushed them other directions, but at the end of the day, a kid is going to do what he want to do when he get a certain age. But I don't think they would have been Drakeo the Ruler and Ralphie the Plug. I think they molded into Drakeo the Ruler and Ralphie the Plug from being with their mom, because they were old enough to override her perimeter and strong enough to override her perimeter and be in the streets like that. Because they wouldn't have been in the streets like that if they would have been with me. They wouldn't have been in the streets like that. I would have curved all that. But they was with their mom. So a mom can, and I'm sure she did the best job that she could do, but she's not a man. You know, a man can say, sit your ass down, sit your butt down. You ain't going nowhere. And the kid is going to listen. A mom could say the same thing, and as soon as she turn around, the kid is gone. You know, but that's not taking anything away from mothers, but they can only do so much when that kid is a son is over the age of 14 years old. He's gonna do what he want to do, and it shows. They did what they wanted to do, and they turned themselves from Devontae Caldwell and Daryl Caldwell into Ralphie the Plug and Drakeo the Ruler. That's how that went down. So, but at the end of the day, bro, it didn't change anything with me. I was mad as hell not being able to be in my kid's life like that, and I'm even madder about the lies and the BS that was told in the stories to destroy my image. And they was always like rotating. When Daryl was in locked up, Devontae would be out. When Devontae was locked up, Daryl would be in. So I think that was the strategy. Or like the sheriffs in the county out there at that particular time, because they would never let, it was kind of like, it was almost like they never had them both out on the street at the same time. But just that little short time, they were out on the street at the same time. But they usually want to be locked up and the other one be in. So Daryl was out at this particular time and Devontae was locked up, which is Ralphie. So Daryl would come by, and he was coming to my house. I was living in Riverside at this time. So he would come out there and he'd be like, Dad, you ain't got no beats? I'm like, yeah, I got a gang of beats. What kind of beats you want? Because, you know, I used to just sit around all day, just make beats all day. You know, some days I just make beats all day long until I just get burnt out and tired. So I gave him like a stack of CDs. It probably was about 30 CDs, and they all had a gang of beats on them. So here, just take them, whatever ones you want to use, you can have. And that's when he came with that. He took one song, and I'm like, wait a minute, he actually used that beat. And it was the beat that he used for Big Bang Buddha. So he used that beat, and he put it on. It was on the 10 Summers album with DJ Mustard. Of course, DJ Mustard took the beat and he put a little spin on it. He put his little spin on it. He probably added a bass line and probably added some kicks, some drums, and some stuff that he felt like, you know, this is the energy that this beat need for this album or whatever. But that's what any good producer is gonna do. They're gonna do that. That's just something that's like if somebody give me a beat, and if I could fix it up and make it better, that's what I'm gonna do. But I play drums, and I play drums, I play bass guitar, I play trumpet, and I play guitar, I play keyboard, I play all that stuff. So I make the beats, most of them from scratch. You know, I've been playing drums for 40 years, so, and to read the music, the rudiments, all of that stuff. But anyhow, so I actually heard the song, and I'm like, oh, he did something with that beat. And then the song kind of blew up a little bit. You know, it was on like I said, it was on that album, the 10 Summers album or whatever. But, yeah, man. And I don't know why to this day he never mentioned that. He never put it out. He never said, you know, hey, my dad gave me this beat, or none of that. You know, that's what I said. All that stuff y'all be hearing about You know, me, if you don't know me and if you ain't no family member, they brother, cousin, sister, auntie that know me or know anything like that, you can believe what you want, but it's all lies. I don't care what Darlene talking about. I don't care what Ralphie talking about. I don't care about none of them, what they talking about. If you guys is always talking about we know the truth, then tell the truth. Stop telling lies. It's not going to do anything to crush me or break me down or anything like that. I tried to do the best I could when I was around them, but you know, like that cat and mouse game got out of control. It just got overwhelmingly ridiculous. It's just like the cat and mouse chase game. But yeah, man, you know, either way it go, he ended up being really successful. He did something with the music. Rest in peace, those demons is what I call them, and serpents out there, jealous brothers, hating, they took him out. And actually, Daryl was a really good kid. That's why he smiled all the time, because he always had good spirits and he was always trying to do, if anything, he would have been trying to help the people that, you know what I'm saying, that was against him like that. He wasn't that type of person that was going to be like, man, you know, I'm against everybody, and just one of them hateful NIGGAs. He wasn't that. He always tried to help everybody. And he always tried to be the person that I'm going to put myself in position where I can help us all. We all come up. Just they all start getting jealous and they all start hating is the bottom line. And it got out of control because I just got a lot of words on a lot of different stuff, which I ain't going to really speak on. But it was a lot of quarreling and a lot of fighting with a lot of different people that I'm not going to speak on, but it was a lot of quarreling and a lot of fighting with a lot of different people 2 to 3 weeks before he died. Yeah, and I got this information from a reliable source. So it was a lot of quarreling and a lot of fighting before that happened. And it just wasn't with the people that they saying the streets is talking is responsible. It was with a lot of quarreling and fighting with a lot of people. And that's kind of when I took it upon myself and I said, I'm finna start showing my face and popping up. I'm finna stop popping up and I'm finna get some closure on this. But I don't know.
What did you think when he did release the Inglewood song?
Well, of course, being a dad and being me and who I am, I don't think he should have did that song. I don't think he should have did the Inglewood song because that automatically is going to bring some enemies. That song set off a whole nother wave of drama, which, like I said, Duro was not backing down and he ain't scared of nothing and nobody. And at this point, he's big time Drakeo. He ain't finna be like, man, I ain't doing that song because these people thinking this. Or he never was gonna let nobody think that he was scared of nothing. But me, Dad, I think he shouldn't have did that song. I don't think he should have did that song at all. And I think that song had a lot to do with putting more gas on the fire that was already burning out of control. They were just pouring more gas on it, and just like you relighting the barbecue grill, you pour some more lighter fluid in it. That just made it even worse, bro. So no, he shouldn't have did. He shouldn't have did that song. He should have did that song. There's a couple songs I don't like he did. I don't even like that one. He's Never Coming Back, and I don't like that one either. That was not a good song neither. It was a good song for the people that's into that street life and man, well, you did so and so, you what, you know, but come on, man, y'all know what comes after that dish. You got to dish back, and you got to dish back. You got to dish back. Oh, then y'all see each other in the street. Oh man, then it's this and then it's that. And the next thing you know, oh man, so and so got hit, bro. What? That's how the game go. Once you start that going back and forth with dishing, you know what I'm saying? It's enough money out there for everybody. You know, I don't know why these young brothers be going back and forth with the hate. It just doesn't make any sense to me being an old head. It's like, bro, I'm 62 years old. Do you guys have any plans in your life to want to be 62? That's what I don't know. Do you want to be 62 years old, you youngsters out there? Do y'all want to be 62? Or do you think that, nah, man, I don't even want to get old like that. I just want to die young. Is that what y'all's mission is to die at a young age? Because that to me is just the dumbest, stupidest thing ever. So you trying to tell me you want to go out here and you want to make all this money and you want to get real famous to not enjoy the money? You want to make millions of dollars and then die? Where do you think that money's gonna go? Where do you think all these cars is gonna go? Where do you think all that stuff that you accomplished is gonna go? You can't stuff it in the casket. I don't know what you young guys is thinking, but you cannot put that money inside your casket. You cannot put the houses in the casket. You can't put the cars in the casket. Your jewelry, you'd be a damn fool to put it in the casket because they're gonna dig it up and take it. So it just doesn't make no sense the way y'all be thinking. The idea is to get rich, make the money, and enjoy it. Live off of it. Make enough, you can help your family members out. You know what I'm saying? You get enough money, you help your family members, or you make it easier for your mom. Make it easier for your dad. Make it easier for your sister. Make it easier for your brothers or your sisters. That's just the way I feel about it. You got to remember, when I grew up, and I was coming up, and I was out there, it was the era of Whitey, Manpower, Freeway Rick, Big Ollie, Tracy from Main Street. Those dudes. The real street dudes. Big Hunch. Okay? That's the age group right there of mine. So it ain't not too much I didn't see. Okay? I seen them go up. I seen people go down. Whoever did what they did to him, trust and believe me, you're gonna reap what you sow. And this is coming from somebody that's 62. You're gonna reap what you sow. Trust and believe me, and it ain't gonna be nowhere you can run and hide. You're gonna reap what you sow. Yeah. Because it hits you right when you least expect it. It's on the real. It's just sad to see this keep on repeatedly happen. And now it's like every 10 years or every 5 years, these rappers, they dying younger. First I was saying they ain't making it to 40. That's what I was saying at first. And I was like, dang. First I was saying they ain't making it to 50. Then I say, man, they ain't making it to 40. Now it's like they ain't even making it. They barely getting out of their 20s, bro.
So how'd you first get the news about his passing?
This young lady had told me, she said, wait, did you hear about, they saying that Drakeo the Ruler, your son, did you hear? I'm like, hear what? They said your son, Drakeo the Ruler, he got killed. I'm like, what you talking about? This girl told me, Litsa. She told me, she's like, yeah, she was actually supposed to be doing the security, her security company was supposed to do the security for her, but they ended up getting some other security company, told her, so she knows a lot of the people in the security business or whatever. And so, you know, they talk, they know things. Because I pretty much know the whole full scoop. A lot of people don't know. They thinking I'm dumb and they thinking I'm stupid and I don't know what happened. They don't know who I know. I'm a very, very popular person in the street. And everybody know who Tulo is, okay? Everywhere, Inglewood, LA, Compton, Carson, everybody know who I am. Because I did a lot of things in my life. Before I got popular with the music, I was into street racing. I used to street race, and I was a very, very, very known, popular street racer, you know? And we would all meet over there on Florence and Main. That's a whole nother topic, but we all used to meet at Florence and Main, and I was real popular and known for my cars being fast. We would street race and stuff like that. And then, you know, I was popular in music. You know, I was popular just in the club scenes. I was really popular, you know, everywhere I went. I used to be able to pretty much go to any hood, and it was cool. Everybody knew who I was. So that's why I laughed out. My sons, they remind me so much of me. That's like they would talk about all the lingo and they saw like, yeah, man, we created this lingo. And I said, damn, that is so me. That's so ridiculous. Because we used to have certain code words, and only people that hung in our circle would know what we talking about. You know, I'll say something like this. I'll give you an example. All right, I'll be right back, man. I'm about to go get some more stress medication. And the people that don't know us, right? They be like, what the fuck is he talking about stress medication? What, you know? But that was our kind of like our code word for, I'm finna go back to the liquor store, get another beer, or go to the liquor store, get some cigarettes, or go get whatever, you know, with that type of thing. If we were out, like we out chilling in the parking lot before we go in the spot or whatever, I'd be like, man, I'll be right back. I'm finna go get some more stress medication. Y'all want some more medication? That's what we would call it. And that would mean whatever type of beer you want. Oh yeah, man, bring me back a St. Ives, man. Give me a Budweiser, man. Give me a Old English. That was our stress medication. So that just different little slangs and words I would make up.
What do you think happened that night?
Shit, Devils was at work. He did some hating shit. I personally think it was a setup. And I think a lot more people that was there at that event, including the big names, they already knew that was gonna happen. Straight up. They playing that game like, oh man, we was all in the dressing room. We was back in. Man, stop lying. All y'all knew that was gonna happen because they was already telling people, hey man, come back here right now. Come. I got word that they was telling people, hey man, come back. It ain't cool right now. Just go inside. I got word they was saying that from certain people and names and people that was telling me that was there. It ain't cool right now, go in the back. And they like, well, what you mean? And then they seen other people go into the back and leave and go and say, hey, well, they knew that what was going on. I ain't speaking on no names, but these people, they all knew that was gonna happen. That was all orchestrated. An organized hit. That's what that was. That was an organized hit. But at the end of the day, nobody's gonna have to take retaliation and do nothing. They all on Ralphie's head like, man, why you ain't doing nothing? There's some more demons trying to get him back locked up or get him took off the street. Yeah, Ralphie ain't gotta do nothing. You know who's gonna do something? Their faith. Their faith. Their faith, when it catches up with them, it's you gotta remember, the same way that hit his family and hit his people is the same way it's gonna hit them. It might even be to the point where the person that's responsible for the actual stabbing, soon as your son get a certain age, and he's your favorite son, he reminds you so much of you, like Daryl remind me so much of him. Daryl's the same exact birthday as me. He Daryl Wayne Caldwell Jr., that's Drakeo. He got the same birthday as me and everything. So soon as you have one son that you love so much and that's the one to remind you that's your favorite son, somebody gonna do him the same way. That's how that works. So ain't nobody gotta do nothing. I don't waste my energy with that. I was very angry for 2 years, like I said, but I ain't finna waste no energy on that because faith is gonna take its course. Trust and believe that.
You think there'd be any type of justice from that situation?
I very well 100% think that it should be some justice for it, but the people that is responsible for bringing justice to that don't want no justice for it. I'll put it like that. They don't want no justice for that because Daryl pissed off a lot of people. He got acquitted for the charges. So the people, that's like the big group of the people responsible for bringing justice for that. I mean, it's like they're acting as if this never happened. They're acting as if he never got killed. None of this never happened. So that tells you right there that they're trying to sweep it up under the rug. But they can't stop faith. Can't stop faith.
Sweep it up, do you mean the artists or do you mean
the
LAPD?
All of them. LAPD, the security, the actual ones that was there and they knew it was gonna happen. Specific rappers that we're not gonna speak no names on, they already knew that was gonna happen. It was a setup, man. Straight up. And they gonna lie. They gonna continue to lie forever and say they didn't have nothing happen. They didn't know what was gonna happen until it happens to them, and until that situation is on. The faith then come back. And somebody, you in that same seat that me, the dad, is in. You in that same seat that Darlene, the mom, is in. You in that same seat that Ralphie, the plug, the brother's in. You in that same seat that we in. Then you gonna realize, dang, man. Probably a lot of them gonna probably try to play possum and dumb, like, oh man, I don't know why this is happening to me. Oh yeah, you do. You know exactly why it's happening to you. Because you reaping what you sow. Little youngsters, man. I just say spend more energy in figuring out what I'm gonna do with all this money I'm making. You know what I mean? How can you possibly take this money and restructure this money into something positive, and quit being selfish and quit being greedy and all of this stuff that's gonna end up taking you out? Straight up. As far as those fools and those serpents that was involved into his murder, and y'all know who y'all are, so nobody has to speak no names, you're gonna reap what you sow. Because a lot of these people that me and you are talking about, they got kids and they got sons, so ain't no escaping your faith. I don't know how you gonna. I don't know how they figure they're gonna get away from running from their faith, because it's not gonna happen. Straight up. Near one of them in none of them groups. The groups of them that was there, the groups of them that was not there and was responsible, and they had an input, a put in that. They had some kind of they finger in that some kind of way. That wasn't even there. I'm not scared of not one soul. So let's just let that be known. I just feel like faith will take its course. So they know what the deal is. All of them know who Tulo is, and they know who I am. But at this point, I feel too, really, to be honest with you, I feel it's coming soon. I've just been picking it up lately that the responsible parties is about to reap what they sow. I can't predict when a person's going to be punished, no. But I just been picking it up lately that they're about to reap what they sow. All of them. So, you know, my son was not no angel. He wasn't no angel. But nobody deserves and have the right to try to figure they could take somebody's life. So when you take that upon yourself to think you God and you could take someone's life, trust and believe me, expect for it to come back on you and it to happen to you, or happen to your son, or happen to your family member. We got to stop this nonsense. We got to stop this nonsense as a people, a group of people, a race of people, you know, neighbors. We have to stop this jealousy, and we have to stop this cruelty among each other, against each other, I meant to say. Yeah. Start thinking.
What was your memories of the funeral?
Just kind of wild. The funeral to me was kind of wild, man. Everybody was just like turned up like it was a club or a party or something, bro. It's a lot of wow. It was turned up, and everybody was just, I don't know, just turned up energy. Just everybody wow, driving crazy and all of that. But you know, I was focusing on my son's death, but they was all like, it was a big party or some shit. This ain't no party. This ain't no damn celebration of somebody dying. You know what I mean? So I was a little bit pissed off about that. A lot of faces that I seen there. I was trying to get a discerning and pick up on their spirits. See what they was, you know, see if I could pick up on some energy or what was going on. But the outcome of, I like some of the talk, like some of the speeches and some of the people that got up there and they spoke on different things like there. They should have let me get up there and speak. That's what they should have did. They should have let me get up there on the microphone, because they definitely wouldn't have liked it what I had to say. Y'all out in here celebrating and turned up like you at a club and they playing your favorite song. Somebody just died. Okay, and the reason why they died is what all y'all need to be focused on. This is a mourning of a person dying. This ain't y'all ain't at no club. You know what I'm saying? That's what the problem is right there. Y'all don't even take death serious. That's why it keeps happening. They ain't learning anything from it. They're not learning anything from it. You know, that's a message. When somebody dies like that, you're supposed to be thinking, dang, man, I got to start thinking about some stuff. You know, each individual, especially in that stink team, and those youngsters, bro, it's crazy because they keep on dying. The last thing we just went to was a dude it's like every year one of them is dying, bro. That's not cool at all. Ain't nothing fly or good about that. All y'all little youngsters, you know what I'm saying? You have your whole life to live, and all y'all just dying every year. One of y'all dying, that right there should trigger something right here. Wait a minute, man. Why do we keep dying? But they trying to, now it's so many youngsters and young kids dying. They starting to brainwash themselves that that's normal. That's not normal. If 10 of y'all in a group and y'all dying one by one every year, that's not normal. Yeah. So I was pissed off about that, bro. Just everybody over there all turned up like, yeah, man, we at the club. What? Yeah, man.
You got any good memories of that day?
No. Let's see.
Or fond memories.
Well, I gotta mention
Sad day.
sad day. What is that? Rolling Stones came up to me, and they did a little small interview there, and they was just asking me. I actually told them a story about him going to Kendall's, the donut shop. They probably could look it up. Rolling Stones did their little story on me. So I remember that was cool talking to the lady. She seemed like she generally had a good spirit and good heart, you know. So I gave them a story. That's about it, man. Like I said, I got pissed off because of the people I seen there and the energy they was displaying at a funeral. And every time he do a tattoo, he would talk to him. So it was kind of like therapy. Tattoo and therapy at the same time. And he told me, he said, man, you ain't coming down here to get no tattoos. You're getting so many tattoos, you can't even see the other tattoos that you got. You can't even figure them out. He said, you got to stop getting these tattoos. So I'm like, he said, you're just really coming down here to talk to me about that situation. And he was just asking me, hey, man, maybe you need to just go get some counseling. I said, no, the counseling's right here talking to you. Because he was cool. The stuff that he talked about and stuff that he said, I just felt like it made sense to me. You know, he made a lot of sense, and he would guide me. Like I said, I was on that mission when it first happened. I was on that mission of building a crew, and we was finna go handle whatever had to be handled. But then, actually talking to him and getting the tattoos took a lot of that out of my heart. To be honest with you, it took a lot of that out of my heart. He took a lot of that out of my heart because of positive reconstruction from the conversations. Took a lot of that out of my heart. I'm sorry, a lot of that out of my heart. That anger and animosity. It took a lot of that out of my heart. So that's how I ended up with all these tattoos in my face. That's crazy. Because I didn't have these tattoos in my face before he got killed. I had a couple, but not all of these ones. These is definitely result of my son dying. And the one I got on my tattoo I got on my stomach of Drakeo, the full size one I got on my stomach. That one I got after he got killed too.
Did you have any face tats before?
No. I had neck tats. All these, you see on my neck right here?
You already had those?
Yeah, I had these. I had all these on my neck. Not on my face. Yeah. Like I said, I was a very known person in LA. I'm a very known person. Anybody to know, all I gotta do is ring that name Tulo. Everybody know who I am. But yeah, man, it's just sad to see these youngsters.
So you said the funeral, you said it felt like people weren't as serious as you wanted them to be? So
Nah, it just felt like it was a party.
like, were they doing wheelies in their car?
Yeah, they was doing everything. Wheelies, they was playing music, driving all crazy, burning rubber, doing donuts. What does that got to do with a death? That ain't got nothing to do with no more mourning for somebody's death. That's got something to do with being ignorant. Straight up, bro. It's like a spot to everybody show off. What are you showing off about? Where was all this energy to stop and prevent this from happening? The hell? You spending all this energy doing this. Where was all that energy at when that was happening? Come on, man. Just keep it real. 100, bro. I'm cool on that, bro. I'm old school when it comes to telling the truth, bro. I can't be playing no games with this bullshit again. Out here acting crazy and doing donuts and like, you know, you at the club that's turned up in the parking lot. Come on, man.
Talk to Ralphie or the mom that did?
Nah. I just gave Darlene a hug and Ralphie, but it was just, like I said, it's a lot of weird energy, bro. You know, y'all trying to indirectly, it's just weird, bro. It was just weird.
The funeral happened pretty fast, right?
Yeah, it happened pretty fast. I went to what's the name too? I went to the memorial where you go view the body and all that. It was about a week before that or whatever. I went to that too. That was more solid. That was a little bit more solid than the funeral. I think that was more solider than the funeral. The funeral was just seemed like a turned up parking lot club thing. But the viewing of the body was cool.
Is it because all the young?
It probably.
Young there?
Yeah, I would say that had a lot to do with it.
Now when he first passed, did you hear from Ralphie or the mom or immediate family?
No, not immediate. No, I never even talked to them for a while after that. It took a while for me to actually be talking to Ralphie.
He didn't message you?
Yeah, I remember I had one conversation with him and I asked him, I said, what happened? He said, oh man, it was a hit, man. It was a hit on Drakeo. That's what he told me. And he said it real fast and kind of got off the phone. It was a hit. He said it was a hit on him.
Call him or he called you?
I called him and asked him tried to ask him like what happened? Like, man, what happened that night? And he was just like, man, it was a hit, man. It's a hit on him, man. They executed him or something. He said like that. Yeah. But bro, yeah. That's crazy, man. Responsible parties, all the responsible parties, I want y'all to know, as being a triple OG, I'm not no OG, I'm the triple OG, okay? And that means a lot, because that means I lived a long time and I've seen a lot. And I'm 62, and I would not take no years away from my life, the stuff that I've seen, because definitely your past makes you who you are today. So I learned a lot, and my message is, you're not gonna be able to escape your fate. You could duck and dodge, but it's gonna be right there, like a mirror, for sure. Yeah. I even seen Crip Mac there.
He's at the funeral?
Yeah. I seen him there. Cause I would always, back then it was kind of hard not to see him on YouTube. He was always on YouTube. So this Crip Mac dude, I'm like, who is this Crip Mac dude? Because I would laugh, because the way he talked and all that, and all that, and it was just he was blowing the internet up. So I actually seen him at the funeral, standing in front of the church.
Did you talk to him?
No, I didn't talk to him. I don't know if he knew who I was or whatever, but I walked right by him. It was different in person. He wasn't. What you see, I was seeing him on the videos and YouTube video and podcast stuff. He looked a lot bigger, but when you walked by him, he wasn't. But from what I could see, it looked at least like 50 against 6. That's what it looked like. It looked like about 50 dudes attacking like 5 or 6 dudes. That's what it looked like.
The only one that actually I saw it was Drakeo.
Mm-hmm. And I keep out trying to figure out how he got separated. How you guys end up so close to the gate? And when y'all was at the gate, where was he at? See, even the video, you can't really see the separation. Even in that video, you can't see, like, where is he at? Like, where okay, for like, you know, if you got a satellite view, right? And you can see them over here, and he's over here. But you can't see that. You just see them over here squabbling by the gate. Where's Dro at? Where is he at? How did he get pulled away? Like, how did he get wherever he was at? I just seen one little glimpse of Dro fighting, and then you didn't see him no more. And I watched it a million times. So how did he get pulled over here or wherever that was to where these dudes could get him in the corner and stab him up like that? And then these dudes is over here by the gate. How did that separation, if y'all was all together and y'all all together as a team, making sure y'all stay together because anything might happen. How did he get separated from y'all like that? That is the question. That's the big question mark right there. Yeah. But man, it's...
Now he was the only one who was stabbed.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But from what I heard, it was a lot of people, it was a lot of guys there with knives. But in the video, I didn't see nobody with no knives. They said they must have deliberately, like it was a hit. They deliberately got him in the corner and pulled him out. Because when I seen Ralphie and them fighting, I didn't see nobody with no knives and they swinging knives at them when they fighting. So they separated them some kind of way, pushed them in the back wherever it was. And they are that group. What I'm saying is that group of people that had the knives, they was already positioned. You know what I mean? Somewhere, and they already probably had it set up to drag him or get him over there. It was already waiting. So it probably was a distraction. While you fighting these dudes, then the homies is gonna creep up on you, and just like they do in prison and jail. The same thing. It's the same thing. That's probably exactly how they do. That's the same way they do it in jail. The same exact way, bro. It ain't no fair fighting in the county jail or prison. It's usually gonna be unfair. Every time it's a fight in prison or jail, it's gonna be unfair. It's gonna be 10 dudes with knives and 1 dude with nothing. It ain't never gonna be a squabble heads up. Yeah, they have fight night and all that, but I'm talking about when like the riots break out or it's a hit. If it's a hit or something like that, bro, it's never gonna be fair. And anybody think that is a damn fool. But yeah, so that was all strategized. But the question, like I said, the question keeps coming up to me: where was the split? Where was the separation? Where was the separation? Where was the separation? How did they get separated to where it's a big gap where you guys don't know where he's at? That part. So, I don't know, man. What the fuck the deal is, bro. All of that was part of the setup. Because the big heads, whoever the big heads was that was there at that time, they all had to play their role and their part. Because they all, at the end of the day, all of them wanted him out of the way. Because their music wasn't selling like that. It was Drakeo was the new star, and he was at the top of the chain far as like, you know, winning a popularity contest. He was winning a popularity contest in the streets. So his music was selling, and it wasn't doing nothing but getting better. Each song was getting better and better and better and better and better and better. So this was pushing. It was Daryl songs was doing this, Drakeo songs was doing this, and all those that was there is doing this. But that's life. James Brown ain't gonna be the same as he was when Rick James come out, right? You know, it's gonna do that. You got new artists coming out. The music is changing, more energy because they're younger, and that's how the game goes. But they obviously and evidently they couldn't take that. They was jealous, and I said it. Now what? Yeah, man. But you got to take it like a man. Everybody has their time, you know. And a lot of them that I feel was jealous and got jealous, they had no reason to be jealous. You had a good run. You had a good run, and you did very successful, and your music did really good, and you made a lot of money, and you have a lot of fans still to this day, and you had a lot of fans when you were on the top of your game. So there was no reason for that type of jealousy. That's what makes it even worser. They didn't even have no reason to be jealous like that. And they got jealous like that. So that goes to show you right there, you could be rich, famous, and have it all, and still have animosity and still have a jealous heart. Money and having all that stuff is not going to change the hatred and the jealousy that you have in your heart. That proves it right there. Yeah, bro. It's really sad. Situation, bad situation. I want to see all of those youngsters make it. I want to see all of them live to 40, 50 years old. Me, personally, get old, man, live your life and enjoy your money and help your family. You know? I don't like how Ralphie, he pulled his mom out there and he was acting as if I wasn't there.
You were on stage too?
I was on stage. But it's just like, bro, you gotta stop with these games. Because eventually I'm gonna be in front of the camera like this right here, and I'm gonna tell the truth. You can't shut me down. You ain't bigger and badder than the person that brought you into the world. You gotta remember something, Ralphie the Plug. You was inside these nuts first. Okay? You was inside these nuts first. And no disrespect to him, or I love my son, but you came for me first. Even before it got to your mom, you came to me. You came for me first. So all of that, playing these little games or whatever, his whole structure of life, the way he think, music and all that, man, come on now. Anybody that know Tulo, they all know that I did all of that stuff. The hustling, the music, the songs, all of that, bro. I got 1,000 songs, at least. Should I make 3 songs, 4 songs a day? At one point, every day. So, there ain't no reason for that. That's why I say, I'm gonna leave that alone. I'm just gonna leave that part alone. But as they say, as they line, I'm gonna use they line, I know the truth, we know the truth.
The last time you saw him in person?
Ralphie?
No.
Drakeo?
Yeah.
When he came to get the beats from me? When he came to my house and I gave him all those beats?
Was it after his case?
He had got out, so no, that was not after the last case. Because he did the Big Bang Buddha 10 Summers thing before that happened, before he got re-locked up.
What did you say to him last time you saw him in person?
Nothing, just You know, we just laughing, the same old smile, same old everything, full of energy. You know, just being him, being Daryl. We just talked about regular stuff. But some of the people I was talking to was saying that he was asking about me a lot before he passed away though. Did my dad get any more tattoos? He asked, did my dad get any more tattoos? What'd he get? So, I wouldn't have been able to sit down and have this conversation a couple years ago. No. I had too much anger. Pissed off.
You still have a lot of anger?
Huh? Nah, it's just like I said, it's not nowhere on that level. It's definitely 80% been curved. It's been curved at least 80%. So I'm doing a lot better mentally, spiritually, all of that on that situation, because I know that they're gonna reap what they sow. I'm a strong believer in that. I've seen it happen so many times repeatedly in life with people, and then sometimes you be thinking in your mind, dang man, it's just like this person ain't never finished, just doing all this crazy madness and they ain't never just nothing, just how is this possible for a person to get away with this much stuff? But everybody's day is coming when you out there living like that, bro. So that ain't being tough. You ain't no bad tough dude because you outnumber somebody and stab them up. That's like sucker punching somebody, bro. Ain't no strength in sucker. It don't take no tough dude to sucker punch nobody. You catch him off guard when he ain't looking and hit him when he's not looking. You gon' daze him. He gon' most likely be out, and then you do the rest of your damage. Because you took advantage of somebody that wasn't paying attention. Well, didn't even see it coming. It ain't even like they was paying attention. You just cold-cocked them. So of course you're gonna do some damage to them. That's the same, there ain't nothing tough about that.
So originally, you thought they were just gonna fight, squabble,
Yeah, now that would have been gangster.
and then
That would have been gangster. One-on-one fight, even if three against one. You know, let's see how tough he is. See if he could take all three of us, right? But bringing out knives and stabbing a dude while you got 6 dudes fighting the dude, and when he distracted, stab him. Ain't nothing gangster or tough about that. Nothing. That's coward, weak. And the same coward, weak stuff that they did, somebody gonna do to them. Yeah. It's a matter of time.
how do you feel about the lawsuits coming from the soon-to-be, I think?
That whole Live Nation thing. They ain't finna do nothing, but yes, that's a good thing, that, cause I mean, they didn't have no security there, and if they was any way, I can't really say that they was responsible for that, and I can't say what role they played in that, but they definitely played this role. They didn't have the right security, and they didn't have the right setup to prevent that from happening, because it wouldn't have happened if they did.
What was the security?
I'm not sure what the security was, but I just know that it wasn't set up right. Because if it was set up right, that would have never happened right, bro.
Because after that happened, people just left.
Mm-hmm.
So he's there.
Yeah, and then that's the...
So he's there.
You know how many times I've seen that in the hood? They let the paramedics take their time getting there and let you bleed out. That probably a while. When I was living over there off 107th Street, I've seen that so many times. It's ridiculous. They take their time to get there, especially if they get a call and they put on the air that it's gang related. They finna probably be stepping on the brakes instead of speeding. And then by the time they get there, you done already bled out and you're dead. That's just another way of killing a brother. Because it's not gonna come back on them, and it's not gonna be like, oh, you guys killed him because it took too long. They're gonna be, no man, he got stabbed and he died. That's the way the public is gonna view it and look at it. But actually, We both know if it's certain situations, they can get there quick if they want to, right? And they can get this person to the emergency room quick if they want to. We both know that. But it's definitely not their fault that he got stabbed. But I seen them lag like that when I was living in LA. I seen them lag. Yeah, man, that shit is crazy.
So after it happened, they just, all the people who did it, they just left. Nobody tried to stop them. Right?
From what I heard, yeah. Yeah, pretty much. Cause they just, I mean, what happened? They just disappeared in thin air. Poof, gone. So evidently they had an escape route. You know what I mean? They already knew which way they was gonna go to get away. So like I said, what did they do? Escape? Well, what happened? Just, okay, we status do it. All right, snap your finger, poof, and they just disappeared. Yeah, right. Everything on the video, and there's none of that on there. Nobody got none of that on the video. You can see everything, but you can't see the disappearing magical act. They don't like the idea that he had got away with, that he beat those charges anyway. They looking at it like justice is served. They like justice is served. That's how they looking at it. They ain't finna go out their way to investigate somebody that they don't like. And if he's still alive, they'd be investigating. If he was still alive right now, they'd be doing a lot of investigating now, trying to catch him doing something. But now that he's dead, they not finna investigate anything. Nothing, not a damn thing. The only person that's gonna investigate is the faith. And faith is gonna investigate to the fullest. And the faith is going to swim through all of that and grab each individual and hold them responsible. Faith is. Let's see if they can run from that. Shit, bro. If they could get away from that, run from faith, they good. They're not going to make it, bro. Ain't no hiding and ducking. When I went to that thing last year, not this one, but the one before that, and I had got that 90,000 views, and I was up there on the stage or whatever. People was commenting in the comment section. I thought if they said they didn't know they did. That's a lot of people. I was looking and reading the comments. Come on, man.
And the video got deleted.
And then the video got deleted. So I got a good feeling of 100% know who told them to take that video down and delete it. That video went from 2,000 views to 90,000 views in less than 3-4 months. And all of a sudden the video gets deleted. No, that video didn't get deleted. Somebody told them, one of them from that stink team told them to take that video down. And we know who that was. Take that video down. Probably the same person that had a certain person speak up there on the stage and a certain person not to speak this last time I went. But I kind of give Desto Dove respect though and props because he pulled me out there on the in the front. You know. And you know. Nobody's got to do nothing. You angry, you want to do something. I was angry, want to do something. You got to curb that anger and use your common sense. So Ralphie's doing the right thing. You don't need to react on that. That's just a bunch of fools want to see him locked up and hating because he's actually still carrying the Stink Team, you know what I'm saying, the best way he can right now. And they don't like that. They pretty much thought once Drakeo died that the Stink Team was gonna fall off and that was gonna be it. They was done. They're an old group like Crisscross, you know what I'm saying? And just no, but he's actually still doing it. And they don't like that idea. So now they trying to put in his head to go out there and get caught up and go to prison. Which Ralphie's using his smartness and he's like, yo, niggas ain't finna get me caught up.
So what you think of people saying Kendrick Lamar's last album was inspired by?
Oh, they were saying that, well, Kendrick Lamar definitely was using some of Drakeo's rhyme patterns and styles. Now, was it deliberate or it's just catchy? You know, Drakeo created something that was catchy, and it was like a LA type trend type of thing, and this is how we flow out here type of thing. It might have just been something like that, because actually I don't, like I tell people all the time, I don't see anything wrong with that. I don't see anything wrong with, if that's the case, we're gonna have to blame Snoop, we're gonna have to blame all of them. And shit, Warren G was rapping like that first. Warren G had that G-Funk type style first before Snoop had it. So for people to like the way the Drakeo flow, and then they write some songs or spit some bars on a album and it sounds like that, that's just because that was the trending, popular way of flow for LA at that time. So I don't see anything wrong with it whatsoever. Now, should people like, okay, well, how come Kendrick Lamar don't like, you know, credit shot Drakeo out? He didn't even shout him out when he did that big thing he had or whatever in LA, but I was like,
because when he did the RIPs, he could.
Yeah, he didn't. Yes, I think that's a touchy situation. I think maybe he could have. I don't even know how he would do that, because it's gonna be backlashing words from both sides. If he do it, then the people that don't like Drakeo is gonna have something to say about it, and if he do it, it's gonna be, but you shot him out. He'll be putting himself in some positions that he don't want to be in if he would have shot at Drakeo out and did all that. Because I mean, he was there for unity, and he was pushing in the card of unity. So I think he handled it the right way. Now, should he do it now that that's over with? Maybe. But there's definitely nothing wrong with sounding like somebody that was really a West Coast inspiration like Drakeo. That was the sound. It was a hot sound. So other artists are gonna sound like that because he's something to pattern after. A lot of people are like, oh man, you bite Drakeo styles and wrong. Man, come on with that shit. Everybody learn from everybody, bro. You know. Now if you just, okay, it's a different story if you just word for word take somebody's stuff. You know what I'm saying? And that's totally different. But you're sounding like a person that's popular. When the Chronic album came out and Snoop and they did all that stuff, it was when a lot of rappers came out and they was trying to have that sound, you know? That's the trending sound at that time. Drakeo was the trending sound at the time when he passed. And then, you know, shortly after that, Kendrick Lamar came out with that It's Not Like Us or whatever. I definitely hear Drakeo's flow in there. Now, if Kendrick Lamar tries to deny that, he's just straight lying. But it ain't nothing wrong with it. But he was definitely, his rhyme patterns and stuff was definitely sounding like that, bro. Because Drakeo had a very unique style that was different from everybody. So the way he was flowing, anybody that listened to that can hear it.
Yeah, because he had that line. He said, "Big face, Buddha, get a piece from a band."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now that's kind of word for word, but yeah, that's good. Using the Buddha anything is that's definitely Drakeo. But even that, I'm more saying like his style and his rhyme pattern, his cadences is like Drakeo. But me personally, I don't see anything wrong with it. It's actually giving them props. Like, shoot, I'm gonna come out there with the Draco flow. You know what I'm saying? That's giving Draco props. For Kendrick, somebody big like Kendrick Lamar to spit that cadence. Now the youngsters, just a bunch of people that want to stir the pot up. And y'all youngsters, y'all got to start figuring out a plan to live longer. And if it's cutting people loose, cutting a lot of the people loose that you hanging around, it don't matter what they think or what they got to say. Let them go. Leave them alone. You living is more important than hanging around a bunch of people that's influencing you to die. What's the last thing I got to say? That's it. Now this one, you can video what I'm gonna say on it. This is I did this for Draco. Everybody like, oh, when I say I'm dad of the stink, I mean exactly what I said. I'm the father of the two that run the stink team. That's dad of the stink. It ain't got nothing to do with me trying to be a member of the stink team and I want to ride off that cloud. Man, I'm too old for all of that, trying to get up on the stage and do all of that. I'm dad of the stink because it's the 100% truth.